Hey, come here. Stay. Go. Whoop, snagged it. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, while I get my stuff together here. I got dirt in the beer. There we go. All of the rocket dog way down there is about to blast off, and any hope in hell of me getting her back is pretty much gone until she gets her run. Now, the Mrs. Rifle Chair and I have had an ongoing dialogue regarding this dog, and beautiful dog, but whether or not she's a dog that you can trust in the bush. Oh, what's this? That's a machine. Huh. Anyway, whether or not this is a dog that you can trust in the bush, and my answer has been no. It is not. This dog does not have the will to be obedient, and so when she's let loose, there's pretty much no chance that she'll come back. So anyway, until she's had her run. Once she's had her run, then she will come back, but not until. Unless I can sneak up on her like this. Anyhow, if a dog doesn't come back when you command it to, and you're out in the bush, and you have an interaction with a dangerous animal, whether it's another dog, grizzly bear, cow and calf, whitetail, mule deer, name it. It doesn't have to be a dangerous animal. It could be any ungulate, which can be dangerous. If that dog sees a cow and a calf moose, it'll run after it. And when they turn and run, she'll continue to pursue them. And it doesn't matter what I say or shout or how commanding, overbearing I can be. She ignores me. Same with my wife. And that is the reason why she can't be a bush dog. Like, I won't take her out to the forest with me to work. It's too bad because she'd love it, but she's the rocket dog. Anyhow, see, what the deal is here is that when you're an animal owner, you have certain responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities is, what's going on here? It's all knocked over. I think they're doing drilling back here for something. I think we're going to lose a part of Rifle Chair Ranch here. So, dog doesn't come back. You have a responsibility as the dog's owner to have the capacity to control it at will. When you call come, it must come. If it ignores you, you're not in control. I have the leash. I know that when she runs into something, like this is bear shit right here. Right, that's not very old. Of course, I've got the bear mace here. She will come when she's overmatched, and she realizes it, that this animal is bigger, more aggressive, more violent. And where does she run to? Straight to you. Because now suddenly she does want to be under your domain, because she's found herself in a tricky situation. But until she does so, she does not comply. This is aspen. This is called leaf miner. And tunnel it from the inside out. Makes your aspen trees look gray. Trembling aspen, Populus tremuloides. Anyway, there's a watering hole coming up here, so I gotta be careful. That's where the bear almost always is, in the watering hole. Dale! Dale! Till I come and he won't go home. Dale! Dale! Am I paranoid? Or is this just common sense? I mean, you gotta shout out every once in a while, especially when you're going, you're going to a high use area. It's literally ridiculous for you to not call out, let them know that you're coming, so if they have the opportunity to go the other way. 95+% of all bear interactions result in the bear going one way and the person going the other. This, if you're bright enough to be aware enough to pay attention to your surroundings. Always a yellow alert. Always scanning. That little mast to the top of the ship with the radar that spins. You got to have your own radar when you're out here, because this is prime bear habitat. You know, this salmonberry, once it starts to berry, it's not a good idea to be back here. Thimbleberry, Rubus parviflorus, salmonberry, spectabilis, red alder, Alnus rubra. Got some nice birch trees back here too, but look at the difference, eh? The aspen being all gray versus the birch here. That leaf miner's bad. It started coming out a few years ago, you know, heat wave after heat wave, it seems to like. And it's migrated this way. It's very interesting. It's everywhere, prolific. Yeah, they're drilling for rock. This area that we're going for a walk on here. Oh, no, they're drilling for water. That's for water. Where's the water table here? I bet you they didn't have to drill very far. Anyway, that's where they go, right there. Right there. There's another water hole on the other side of this, over there. But you'll frequently see the bears in here. Anyhow, so I'm going to actually instruct dangerous bear awareness and defense, I should say dangerous animal awareness and defense principles. I'm actually teaching another class tomorrow. Whole bunch of really interesting people going to be there. It's going to be different levels of government, provincial, First Nations, forest industry, and we're going to talk about dangerous animals and defense principles. So I have the subject on the brain. That's obviously why I'm talking about it. You know, every single time I deliver this course, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit more practiced. I mean, it's a presentation that continues to evolve. I mean, like dramatically evolve. I mean, the core subject matter hasn't changed, but my ability to provide clarity, video examples, make the production just more easier. I should say the course is easier for the students to comprehend now. I thought it through, kind of cut out sections that don't really apply, and kind of the scope and magnitude of the course has blossomed to include climate stress on potentially dangerous animals. You know, we're talking about what bears do in drought conditions. Where are they on the landscape at certain times of the year? You know, if they're following the food, they're in certain migration patterns, certain migration kind of paths that they focus on. Slide alder veins going up mountains, and yeah, she's got it out of her. She's worked the beans out, so she's sticking close now. anyhow, it's always changing, always improving. Hey, Olive. Let's see if she comes. Olive, come here. Sit. Sit. Good girl, go. That's an older bear poop. Anyhow, so I got bear on the brain. It's not just bears. It's I refer to the course as dangerous animal awareness, because you don't just have to contend with bears, although it's most frequently what we end up having to contend with. But it's also a mountain lion. Do you know what tactics a mountain lion uses? You should, because it'll save your life if you know what their intention is. Talk about cow and calf moose, bull moose, wolves, coyotes. Don't really go into wolverines. Maybe I should. That's a bit of an anomaly around here. But I remember seeing a video of Wolverine on this elk, big bull elk. It went straight for the face, and it hung on, and it was chewing the shit out of this bull elk's face. I mean, eyes. I mean, it just made a mess. The bull elk couldn't do anything. I mean, this creature was just like, what, a tenth of its size, maybe less. Totally took it out. I mean, that elk wasn't going anywhere. Blinded. And it was awful. But you got to look at the awfulness, and you got to look at what these animals are capable of, and you got to know where they can go and how effective they are at it. Olive, come here, girl. Ollie. She's doing it now. Ollie, come on. Olive, come on. Come on. Good girl. Whoa, you don't have to run into me. Come here. Yes, girl. That's right. By the way, I just picked myself up a new bottle of Bear Mace, and $45 Canadian, and it's got a shelf life for 2 years. It's only good for 2 years. But you know what? I mean, if you couldn't use firearms and you needed an insurance policy, $45 is still pretty cheap. No, but of course, we always got these liberal bleeding hearts trying to. Well, it's a public safety concern that people can go buy bear mace. You know what? Maybe they're right, but up here, people will die without it. And die a really horrible way to go. And there's so many bears up here. A lot of people carry it, lots of people. But the people in the cities, or urban-rural divide, okay, I know that you guys know that I'm not a fan. Olive, stop pulling. I know that you guys know that I'm not a fan of city folk. Just not. No, don't get me wrong. Stop pulling on me. Don't get me wrong. I know there's lots of city folk out there that are fine people. Good people, but something going on with those folks in the cities, man. And they're, I don't know what it is, but I have so little in common with them. It's almost like, I bet you I have more in common with Russians that don't even speak English, because they live in rural places on the other side of the Pacific at our kind of latitude, longitude kind of idea. You know, the winters, the seasons, the pressures. Anyhow, I honestly didn't know what this video was going to be about. This when I turned record on, and you probably know that by now. But oh well, it is what it is, as we say in the forestry world. Talking about stuff. I often ask myself why it is that I go out and teach stuff. What is it that compels me to improve my presentation, to improve my performance, and deliver this information to others? And it kind of dawned on me the other day that I'm becoming an elder. Wow. And so it's important that I kind of step outside myself, realize that I'm not a kid anymore, that I've learned certain things, and I can teach you about it. And so that's part of my maturing process, and my own development process is to step outside of my comfort zone and put myself in situations where I'm not comfortable. That's how I improve. Hope you guys are doing great. Cheers. Maple Leaf out.